The last week of Major League Baseball has been insane. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pump the brakes just a little bit. We're not going to talk about any controversies. We're going to keep it simple today. We're going to go ahead and talk about the 2020 Major League Baseball season, but in a positive note. The 2020 predictions are happening right now. The American League East, probably the most improved team from this division, is not the Rays. Definitely not the team that I'm wearing, so we all know that the Orioles are not going to make the playoffs, so I thought, why not wear their hat, show the fan base a little bit of love, because it's going to be a rough next 4 to 5 years, at least until they get Adley Rutschman up in the majors, and they give a little bit of love to him. That's tough. I'm sorry, Orioles fans, but back to the point of the video. The Yankees will be your 2020 American League East division champions. The biggest reason why is obvious. It's glaring. Garrett Cole is going to be the workhorse. He is the final piece that the Yankees needed. It was very evident in the playoff series versus the Astros that the only thing separating them was a pitching rotation. They had the same beefy lineup, they had the same beefy bullpen. It's just they needed one more horse, and they stole him from the Houston Astros. So in my opinion, the Yankees, they're looking scary, and they're also getting Miguel Andujar back, who is going to be in this video as an award winner, but we'll get to that in just a second, because right now we're focusing on the teams, and then we'll talk about individual players, so don't go anywhere. Ooh, the American League Central, home of my favorite team, the Indians, but we're not going to be biased. The reason why I say we are not going to be biased is because as much as I wanted to pick the Cleveland Indians to run away with this division, I don't think that's going to happen for a second year in a row. The White Sox have improved, but they're not going to be in first place. The Minnesota Twins in back-to-back seasons will be your American League Central Division champions, and the biggest reason why, Josh Donaldson. I was waiting for him to sign with the ball club before I made this video, because there are still other free agents. There's Nicholas Castellanos, there's Yasiel Puig, there's Marcell Ozuna, so we're going to predict where they're going as well. But considering the fact that the Twins already had a club that was capable of hitting 300 plus home runs, they did lose CJ Cron and Jonathan Scope. They also lost Kyle Gibson, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. But Josh Donaldson is so elite as an overall baseball player. I think that he is going to put the Twins over the top, as well as a possible most underrated player in baseball going forward, Luis Arias. I hope I said his name right. I didn't really even know he existed until like September of last year, when everyone was saying, why do you not have Luis Arias in your Rookie of the Year awards? And I honestly just was not paying attention. I was so afraid of the Twins that I was focusing on their home runs and not their brand new rookie. He's going to be a beast. Josh Donaldson, Luis Arias, Miguel Sano, Eddie Rosario, Max Kepler, Mitch Garver. Their offense is just way too good. And they also re-signed Sergio Romo, so I think they're going to be all right. The Twins will be your Central Division winners. The final division from the American League, you know exactly where we are going. We have the Astros versus the Rangers versus the A's versus the Angels. The Angels, they were able to sign Anthony Rendon. The Rangers, they were able to acquire Corey Kluber, and they might be in the running for Nicholas Castellanos, who I think they will sign. But the Astros, they have the squad. Justin Verlander, Zach Greinke, they have all of the prospects in the world. So 2020, they are going to be set. I still think that they're going to win 95 to 100 games. Bregman actually came out today and said that his actions are going to speak a lot louder than words. Roll it.
I think just in the 2020 year, our actions will speak louder than our words. And
talked about the buzzers. I mean, you guys wearing electronic devices. Did that ever occur in 2019?
No.
So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think that all of this controversy is going to be good for the Astros? Do you think that it's going to light something under their butts and they're going to play with vigor and they're going to come out and show the world that we don't need buzzers, we don't need banging on trash cans to be the best team in baseball? Do you think they win 95 games? Do you think the Angels are going to be a comeback team? Or do you think the A's, who honestly the A's have not really made any additions, yeah, I think it's still the Astros to lose. But again, like I said, watch out for the Rangers. If they do sign Nicholas Castellanos, they will be in the running for the wild card. But for right now, I might shock you guys with my wild card predictions. The first team, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I just have a really good feeling about JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. I think they're going to have some of their best seasons in baseball. Mookie Betts, this is his contract year. If he performs and maybe even wins an MVP, he is going to get $35 to $40 million a year. So he has to absolutely crush 2020. I think it's going to happen. Chris Sale, in my opinion, I think that he's going to be back to Chris Sale. Maybe not 2.5 ERA Chris Sale, but below 3. The Red Sox are going to be really good, in my opinion. And also, Fun little fact from Fuzzy, they led baseball with most relief appearances versus 3 or more hitters. So they've pretty much already implemented the 3-hitter minimum, so they're already prepared for 2020. Not the Rays, who I think got worse by trading Tommy Pham for Hunter Renfroe. They're gonna have Tyler Glasnow for a full season. Hopefully Blake Snell is Blake Snell, and Charlie Morton, he is an absolute GOAT. But I do not think that the Rays or the A's are going to be better than the Cleveland Indians. Say what you want about me being biased, but I think the Indians, even after we traded away Corey Kluber was bad in 2019. He had a 5 ERA, and then he was injured for the majority of it. We also had an injury to Francisco Lindor for the first couple weeks of the season, which we absolutely stunk it up. If we had Francisco Lindor in the beginning of the season, we would have made the playoffs. Jose Ramirez was a trash can in the first half of 2019, also the second half of 2018. Then he turned it around. I just think that the Indians, they're going to have the pitching staff, they're going to have the bullpen, and honestly, with the addition of Cesar Hernandez at second base, replacing Jason Kipnis, I think the Red Sox versus the Indians is going to be a pretty awesome wild card matchup. But if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section down below, because the Rays, I don't think that they're better even with Jose Martinez. I don't see it right now. I know their bullpen is going to be elite. Maybe I am being biased. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below. And all you A's fans, what are the A's doing? They haven't really done anything. So there's the American League. The National League East, this one is fairly simple for me. I know the Nationals won the World Series, but the Braves, they are the team to beat right now. They got their catcher in Travis d'Arnaud. They signed Will Smith. They were able to keep a couple of their bullpen guys. They have all of the pieces, including the 2020 MVP. Do not close out the video just yet. We're going to talk about him in just a second. But if they can sign Marcell Ozuna, who I do think they are going to, which makes Nick Markakis and Ender Inciarte possibly trade bait, the Braves, they're here, and they're here to stay. The 2020 National League Central race is going to be won by the St. Louis Cardinals for a second year in a row. In my opinion, I think that Tommy Edman is a huge piece as to why I think they're going to be great. Tyler O'Neill has shown some promise, and also Harrison Bader. Regardless of what you want to say about his offense, his defense is going to save you a couple runs. And then if they can add Yasiel Puig to right field and maybe get a comeback season from Paul Goldschmidt, because while he was decent and good in 2019, he was not MVP Goldie, which is what the Cardinals traded for. So if they can get Yasiel Puig and also keep the momentum of Jack Flaherty and Dakota Hudson, or maybe even steal Nolan Arenado from the Colorado Rockies, that is being talked about at a rapid pace right now. Arenado might be on the Cardinals, but if not, they can go out and grab Marcell Ozuna, Nicholas Castellanos, Yasiel Puig. I think that Puig is the better fit because he has a cannon for right field. I think that works out. The Cardinals, your central winners in the National League. The National League West, again, this is fairly easy for me. I know the Diamondbacks have made a push to become a better team with the signings of Madison Bumgarner. They also signed Cole Calhoun. Now, they did lose Adam Jones, and he was a pretty good player for them in 2019. So I think that Adam Jones is actually a little bit better than Cole Calhoun, or you could argue that they're almost the same value-wise. The Diamondbacks, they're going to be good. They have Ketel Marte, a superstar in the making, but they are not going to be able to beat the LA Dodgers. They signed Blake Treinen. In my opinion, Blake Treinen is a very underrated player. He was bad last year, but the season that he had in 2018, he almost won the Cy Young Award as a reliever. He's got the pressure off his shoulders because Jansen is going to be the closer. You're going to get Alex Wood back maybe as a relief pitcher. The Dodgers with Cody Bellinger, and even though they're not really making a lot of push, they're still the Dodgers, and they're going to win 95 games. I got them as my winners in the West. The wild card in the National League is probably going to be a little bit controversial as well, because I am going with the Nationals, obviously. The only really person that they've lost is Anthony Rendon, but they've signed Eric Thames. They've re-signed Asdrubal Cabrera. They've got a lot of pieces on their squad that can somewhat create 70, maybe 65% of the Rendon production. They re-signed Strasburg. Juan Soto, watch out for him as a potential MVP candidate. And then also the Phillies. Yes, I think it's going to be the Nationals versus the Phillies. I cannot wait for that. Bryce Harper versus his old team. The Phillies have signed Zach Wheeler. They also have Didi Gregorius. And then my biggest addition for them is Joe Girardi. Gabe Kapler does not know how to manage a ball game, especially towards the later half of a game. Phillies versus the Nationals. Let's make it happen. Just to recap real quick before we talk about the individual awards. In the American League, I have the Yankees, the Twins, and the Astros being your division winners. And then in the wild card, I have the Red Sox versus the Indians. Now, you guys have to let me know. Do you think the Indians are not as good as the Rays? Do you think the A's are still going to compete? Did I get the Red Sox completely wrong? Please let me know. And then in the National League, I have the Braves, the Cards, and then who was my final team? The Dodgers. So pretty much the exact same thing as 2019, except for the wild card. The Phillies, with the addition of Didi, George Girardi, they're getting McCutchen back. I think that Harper's going to break out and have an MVP type season. Even Rhys Hoskins, watch out for the Phillies. And then, of course, the Nationals, you know, they did lose Rendon, but they're going to be all right. Those are my team-based predictions. Now let's go ahead and get into the individual awards, starting with the Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going to choose Miguel Andujar. Do they have one comeback player? I don't know if there's a comeback player for each league or if there's just one. I'm going to go ahead and pick Miguel Andujar. Just 2 seasons ago, he was someone that the Yankees did not want to trade. And all of a sudden, with the emergence of Cameron Maybin, and they also have Luke Voit and then Gio Urshela over there at third base, he has become expendable. I think he's going to have a 25 home run campaign. And also with all this time off, I mean, he has to have improved his defense. So Miguel Andujar is my pick for the Comeback Player of the Year, the award that Hunter Pence won last year. My rookies of the year are going to be Gavin Lux for the National League. He plays for the Dodgers. And then Luis Roberts for the Chicago White Sox. I think that the White Sox, they are still 1 year away from being in contention. I need to see Michael Kopech back and performing at a high level because their rotation, I guess, is pretty solid with Lucas Giolito, who was great in 2019, Michael Kopech, Dallas Keuchel, Gio Gonzalez, Ronaldo Lopez. He could be nasty one day and then absolutely be the worst pitcher in baseball the next day. So the White Sox, I know they've signed Yasmani Grandal. I should have talked about them earlier on in the video when I was talking about the American League Central and also the wild card. You guys have to let me know. Do you think the White Sox are the real deal, or do you think that it's just a bunch of talent and it's not going to work out, similar to what the Cleveland Browns did this year? A lot of talent on paper, but in real life didn't really work out. I think the White Sox, they're 1 year away, but Luis Robert, he is going to be a stud in that lineup. He just signed a big contract. He's getting paid more money than Ozzie Albies, even though Ozzie Albies is a 2-time All-Star. Don't know what happened there. Ozzie Albies deserves to get paid a lot. And also Gavin Lux, I saw him play live when he came to Vegas for a minor league game. The dude can absolutely rake. I think that he's going to be a perfect fit in that Dodgers lineup. He's going to rake. My Cy Young Award winners for the American League. I think you guys know who I'm going to pick. Just kidding, not Bartolo Colon. I had to get that meme out there. Garrett Cole, the fact that he's on an absolute unit of a squad, he's going to get another 275 to 315 strikeouts. His offense is going to carry him to probably 20 to 25 wins. He's going to have a mid-2 ERA or maybe even close to 3 because Yankee Stadium, the ball does fly. That's just my opinion. Garrett Cole for the American League, and then the National League, I'm going to go for a 3rd-time Cy Young Award winner, Jake DeGrom, for the 3rd year in a row. He's the Mike Trout of pitching right now. He's that good. I think he's going to win a 3rd Cy Young in a row en route to almost 300 strikeouts. I'm calling it right now. And then we don't have to talk about this one. Your American League MVP. This one is completely obvious. Mike Trout. Do not listen to all the rumors out there that he is on human growth hormone. It's just a very odd speculation out there. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. But Mike Trout, he is going to be my 2020 AL MVP winner. I think his 4th MVP before turning 30 years old. That is mythical. And then this one might surprise you guys as well. My National League MVP, there will not be any repeats because Cody Bellinger, he got worse and worse and worse as the season progressed and was even worse in the playoffs. So I'm not going to pick him, although his speed and defense kind of offsets his lack of offensive production as the season progressed. Although he was still elite, he wasn't as good as April and the beginning of the season. I'm going to go with Ronald Acuna Jr., someone that almost had a 40-40 season. His speed is there. His arm is getting better. His defense overall is getting better. He is going to get the 40-40. He's going to win an MVP at 22 years old as the Braves, they're going to face the Yankees in the World Series. So the final prediction of today is exactly that. My World Series prediction, I am going to go with the Yankees over the Braves in 6 games. And that is going to do it for today's 2020 way too early predictions. I still don't know where Puig is going or Castellanos or even Marcelo Zuna. Regardless of where they go, I think that this is how the final matchups are going to play out in the divisions, in the races for MVP, Cy Young, everything else in between. Thank you guys for watching. I know that this week has been crazy, so I wanted to kind of pump the brakes and talk about something a little bit more positive. So yeah, if you like baseball, leave a like on this video, subscribe, let me know where I went right and where I went wrong. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.